So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. I'm so glad that you're here with me. This sandwich that I'm about to make for y'all is so good. Oh my goodness. I love any variation of like a warm, yummy, baked, meaty, cheesy, saucy sandwich. We love them. They're so easy to make in advance. They're so easy to share. And I just love a little sandwich, like a slider or, you know, something that's a little bit more petite that you can kind of eat with your fingers and maybe eat with a fork. I'm just a big fan. And I make all kinds of variations of this particular little yummy sandwich. But today, I'm making one that is piled with yummy, rare, not rare, scary rare, but just rare, yummy roast beef, like really thin and ribbony and piled really high. And then I also am gonna top it with several slices of provolone that's got a little bit of a real creamy, kind of smoky flavor. And then we're gonna sauce these with a little tiny spread of horseradish that just, you know, clears your sinuses and tastes so good. It's so delicious, isn't it, to give a little bit of that yummy tang and surprise with that yummy meat and cheese. Then we're gonna sauce them and cover them and bake them with a buttery herbed sauce. And this is what I'm making really quick for you. We wanna get the buttered sauce on the stove and let that get nice and melded and melted and incorporated and delicious so that we can pour it all over these delicious roast beef sandwiches when we get done. What we want to do first is get this going, and I'm just going to cut these sticks of butter in half. This is 2 sticks of unsalted butter. And before I put this on and, you know, stick this in the pan, I'm going to go ahead and just butter a 9x13 baking pan with butter, just to give it a little bit more yummy richness right there on the bottom, and it'll just kind of help keep this sauce from causing this to all stick. We have made these sandwiches, y'all, for I don't even know how many things, countless things. I've done little baked warm sandwiches, kind of that ham and cheese version that's so delicious. I did those for Easter. I've done them for Christmas morning. I mean, just kind of when we're having lots of people over. We've done them for tailgating. You just kind of cannot go wrong with these little sandwiches, and I think you're just really gonna love this one. I've got the ham and cheese recipe on unsalted.com if you wanted to see that one. But people have been making that one for a while. We might even make it here someday. But this one looks fantastic. It is fantastic. My family just loved it to pieces. I actually was watching a cooking show one time, and one of the chefs made this version with this beef and cheese, which we love. It's kind of similar to like a, almost like a, you know, like the beef sandwiches that you would kind of dip, like a yummy beef sandwich like that. And I thought, oh my goodness, let's just do that, and we'll make it in these little baked sandwiches, and we'll kind of marry the two. So that's what we're doing. So delicious. Okay, so I've taken a little bit of that butter on those sticks and gone ahead and buttered my dish. My oven is preheated to 375, so we have a nice warm temperature going in there. So when we cover these sandwiches and we bake them down, they just get gooey and so good, and the bread gets nice and, you know, warm bread. Can't beat warm bread. So we've got that going. So I've gone ahead after I buttered my dish with my butter sticks and put my 2 sticks just cut up into my little warmer here from Delmy'S. And then what I have in this little bowl, I've gone ahead and pre-measured out. It's got poppy seed and those good dried onions, minced onion that you buy, you know, in the seasoning aisle. We've got some ground mustard and some oregano for a little herby color and bite. And I'm just gonna put that right on top. And I'm gonna stick this over on the stove and let this delicious herby butter just start to kind of melt down. If you have other things that you really love, flavors that you like, you could add garlic, you could add sesame seeds, you could do just about whatever to make that butter taste just how you want it to. This is the way that I like to do it. And I'm just gonna put that on kind of a medium heat and let that just kind of start to melt. I do wanna kind of check it. You know, you kind of have to keep cooking with your ears and just make sure that we, you know, are kind of listening for it to melt down. Okay, this is so easy and delicious. Y'all know these yummy dinner rolls that you buy in your bakery. There are all kinds of different brands. There are the sweet ones, there are buttery ones, there are potato rolls, whatever is your favorite dinner roll that comes prepackaged, like 12. These are from the Harps Bakery. The ladies there make these. They're more of like a buttery potato dinner roll. Remember how I said I need to listen with my ears? I can hear us already starting to sizzle. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. Okay. So that's what I've gotten here, are just these dinner rolls. And so I'm gonna take my knife and we're just gonna plank those right in half. Y'all may have done this at home already. So when we come back, I'm gonna have these popped open and topped, and then we are gonna start to build these beautiful warm beef and provolone sandwiches. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. We are making these beautiful, delicious, beefy, cheesy, baked warm sandwiches with a little bit of zing from some horseradish and a little sweetened dill pickle. So many great flavors, y'all, and these are so great because you can make them in advance. You can stack the sandwiches and then not sauce them and bake them until later. You can take them to a party and bake them in their oven. Super portable, really, really good, such a good crowd pleaser. And so what we've got going is I've done a couple of sticks of butter and they're really nice and melty on the stove. And we've just seasoned it all up with like oregano and poppy seed and all kinds of good things. You can get the full recipe on our website. And now I've taken my big bread knife and halved those entire big, logs of bread that you get kind of in the long package. And so I have just been able to easily, without any trouble, put just all 12 of them down in here in this pan. Now, let me get a little knife. This little flavor is so, so good, and it's horseradish. You can absolutely skip horseradish if it's, too strong for you or scary to you. But I just do the tiniest bit. I am not making this a big old wet, sloppy horseradish sandwich. We are just doing just enough to kind of get that little bite that horseradish gives us. Oh, it's so good. And so I am just going to do you see how nice and thin? Now again, you can just go to town on this if you want. You can do more of this if you would like. You could also substitute horseradish and you could just do mayonnaise if you wanted, or some kind of yummy little tangy sauce of your choice. But I was thinking when I wanted to, build this sandwich, there are so many like neat little restaurants that have beef sandwiches, and it seems like they always kind of serve it with a horseradishy sauce. There's just something about it that just goes with this roast beef. It smells delicious. Okay, so see, just enough. It's delicious. You're gonna love it. Then we're gonna pile. So I've done my tops with the horseradish, but I've got my bottoms of my bread down here in my pan. And what I wanna do, I've got a pretty good sized package. I was gonna see if it told me how many slices I had in here. It doesn't. It's about an 8-ounce package or so of really good thin provolone cheese. And you don't have to quarter these. You don't have to make them per sandwich. We're just gonna lay them all in there, okay? Just like that. And we're gonna just cover them and layer them, and you don't have to be precise. We're just gonna, look at all my little sheets here. We're just gonna lay them over so that there's an entire solid sheet of cheese that gets gooey and melty. Oh, y'all, it's the best. And I even like for it sometimes to kind of spill over a little bit, off the sides, so that when you cut that sandwich or pick it up, you know how that looks, melty and delicious. So I'm gonna be able to do probably 6 pieces or so. I think I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna load it up right here. Overlap a little, tuck it in that corner. So every bit has some cheese. So delicious. You could do Munster. I always tell you that this is my recipe, but you can change it whatever sounds really good to you. If you've got Swiss would be fantastic. If you want Munster, do that. I just love this provolone. It's got that little bit of smoky flavor in it that just is so good. Okay. Now I have this mother load of this beautiful, beautiful boar's head meat, and I get the rarest shaved roast beef at the deli. It's a little bit of a splurge, but there is nothing like it. It is fantastic. And I get it. You know how they'll ask you how much you want on it, or how much, how your thickness? I don't do shaved like where it's falling into itty bitty bitty skinny bites. I do whatever is the next one up. So that's what I always say. Not shaved, but the next notch up. So it's probably like these super thin pieces that are just a little bit shredded up at the very, very edge. That's how I like to do it. And y'all can see there's no precision here. It's almost like we're making one giant sandwich, but we're gonna cut them, at the end. So look how easy. Pile, pile, pile. I would say this is probably about 1.5 pounds or so, if I remember correctly. Should cover this. And you don't want to be chintzy. You want a really hearty, delicious, tall sandwich on these, not just a little skinny meat. We want to go for it. Isn't this so easy? Okay. So we've got our beef on there. Look at that. Perfect. Smells delicious. And the reason that you want to do it rarer than more cooked from the deli is because we're going to bake it again. So it's been cooked once, and then we're going to, to get it to the deli. And now we're going to take them and put them over into the oven. And so, we don't want it to be already really well done. We want it to be a little rare because it's going to brown up when we get our, stick in the oven. Okay, so if I can get the lid off, we're going to put these pickles. I'm going to hand that out of the screen, and it's going to come back with the lid off. And then we're going to do pickles. Thanks. And another delicious, beautiful layer of provolone cheese right on top. When we come back, we're going to sauce these right across the top with that flavored, yummy hot butter. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
Experience the local sounds, sights, and taste of the Fayetteville Farmers Market.
Do you know the producer behind your food?
What about how far away your food was grown?
Local to us means your food is harvested hours before traveling less than 60 miles to our market.
Enjoy music, chef demos, and special events while you shop for locally grown produce, meats, cheeses, flowers, artisan crafts, fine art, and more.
Visit us Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the square.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market, 100% local and loved.
Hi, we're back. I'm just finishing putting these pickles right on top of a really yummy layer of this beef and the cheese. And these are the pickles. These are the refrigerator pickles that we made a couple of weeks ago. That I said that I kind of keep stocked in my refrigerator. And so you need to run to our website and get that recipe. They are sweet and a little bit dilled and delicious. So, and there are even some onions in them. And so I have just layered a whole bunch of those right on top of our beef. And then I'm going to do our final layer of thin sliced provolone. Can you even believe all of this flavor? Then I'm going to top these with our little bit of horseradish, toppers right there. And then bake these in the oven for probably about 20 minutes or so, covered. And then I take the foil right off. And I usually let them bake for maybe just another 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes total, just until they kind of got nice and brown. But you don't want them to get crispy on the top. We just want them to look nice and, kind of browned up. So, wasn't that easy? Just all those kind of pre-packaged. Oh, I almost didn't put my tops on. Or my butter, heavens forbid. Okay, here, look. Okay, there's our top. I was getting ahead of myself telling you all about the oven temp. Here's our butter. Who am I that I was about to forget about the butter? Oh my goodness. Okay, ready? Oh my word. Okay, this is kind of, all the stuff kind of sticks around the bottom, but there's all that good seasoning. Y'all, seriously? Remember that time I made good healthy salmon? This is delicious. Look at all that. Okay, now all the gloppy, look at this, good stuff, stuck right down there in the bottom. You want to be sure to get it all out. Oh my word. And this is one of those recipes where you're going to need to have your friend check your teeth for you. You know that friend or your husband or your wife or whatever. Because this has got poppy seed and oregano, but look how beautiful. And then that butter gets down there and kind of settles in, kind of down around the bottom. Okay, now we foil and stick it in the oven. Is that beautiful or what? I cannot wait for you to see these when they're done. Okay, foil it, stick it in the oven 20 minutes, and we're gonna make a really easy, totally classic Southern broccoli salad to go with this, just for a nice little cold, vinegary, sweet bite on the side of this good, hearty, beefy, cheesy sandwich. Okay, so we need to check these in about 20 minutes. Piece of cake. Okay, let's talk about this broccoli salad. Now listen, I have, my mom, she's been on the show before. Her famous little cold salad that she always made was like a cauliflower olive salad, and she did a couple of other little things, some good, potato salads and all that. So I really had never had this broccoli salad till I was an adult. Now, some people have had a salad similar to this that they really, really love, but I had not known about it, and let me tell you what. I'll tell you where I had it. We were having a little thing for Gracie when she was probably a sophomore, maybe a ninth grader. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember the year. But it's been several years ago, and we had a little thing, like a mother-daughter thing with some girls that were in like her little Bible study group, and we all kind of potlucked. And one of the moms, I didn't know very well, but she made this salad, and everybody had an absolute fit over it. Like, it was the talk of all of the round tables where all of the other mothers were sitting about how delicious it was and who was it that brought it. So we went around asking, scouting it out to find out who it was, and it was this gal named Delmy. And so, I just, I might have kind of borderline pressured her. I don't know. I was trying to be sweet, but I wanted the recipe so bad. And so she basically just told it to me right there. I wrote it down on a piece of paper, that rolled around in my purse for a couple of weeks. And then I finally came home and I wrote it down. So this is like one of those that's kind of like a legend, like it's folklore. Like there weren't even real measurements to it. She just said, then you do this and then you do this, which I just love. Isn't that kind of a fun, charming story about this salad? But it's fresh and it's easy. So all I've got is this broccoli, and we're just kind of cutting the florets. You can spend as much time on this as you want. Some people don't want them quite so big, and some people want them a little bit smaller. It's kind of up to you. So I do a little bit of a blend, some big, some small, on these little broccolis. And I do think if you needed a shortcut, I'm never opposed to a good shortcut. I do think they make some like little pre-packaged, things that have the broccoli florets already kind of pulled off for you. But we are going ahead and making this fresh. And all that goes in this salad, y'all, is broccoli, a little red onion, some cashews, and some yellow raisins. Yes, that's it. That is all there is to it, and a yummy little sauce that we'll make when we come back. And so I'm gonna get this all ready to go. I'll get those ingredients in there. We'll make that yummy classic Southern sauce when we come home, and then we will check on our yummy sandwiches. This is cooking today. Welcome back. We're just wrapping up these beautiful baked roast beef and provolone sandwiches with this amazing herby butter glaze that just kind of cuts down over them. They are so pretty. Aren't they beautiful? And so what I've also done is gone ahead and cut up this broccoli and did the red onions and the cashews and the golden raisins and put that all together in this bowl. And then we're gonna make a really classic, just sweet and vinegary slaw dressing that has mayonnaise in it. And I use apple cider vinegar. I just really love the flavor of apple cider. And then half cup of sugar, y'all. That's the way we do it, isn't it? This is the most classic kind of slaw dressing right there. That's the one that your granny always made. So I'm just giving this a good whisk, and then I'm going to toss it right over this pretty salad. And then we're going to serve up these amazing beef sliders. They are so pretty, and they're hearty, and so they really are going to go pretty far. You know how sometimes you'll get a slider and it's just a little guy? This is hearty and delicious, and it smells so good. Okay, we're going to toss that. Let's cut one of these sandwiches so that you can see how they look. Oh my word. They are so pretty. Ooh, and you can tell at the bottom that butter got on there. Made that nice, a good little kind of crispy baked layer. We're gonna put these on a pretty plate, spoon this beautiful broccoli salad right beside it, and eat a good bite. We're gonna love every bite. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Delmy'S. Groceries provided by Harps, Hometown Fresh. Online Elements sponsored by Fayetteville Farmers Market.